John Festinger, and this is the first video edition of News of the Week for Video Game Law at UBC's Faculty of Law. In the past, for the last 2 years, we've had News of the Week going as an interesting and occasionally popular feature of the website, and with the help of my friends at the Center for Teaching, Learning, and Technology at UBC and at the Center for Digital Media, I've been encouraged and persisted in trying to create some simple workflow by which a teacher with not as much digital and video understanding as they might have could do something like this and put up. The idea and what I wanted to do was a bit of an editorial comment, hopefully always under 5 minutes. We'll see how I do on the first one, on a couple of the News of the Week items that interest me, or that I think more importantly interest you, or may be useful or significant. So for today's inaugural version, we've got 2 stories that are related, and an interesting story that is sandwiched between them, which I'll leave to you to read and decide if it's relevant or not. But the third story has got a wonderfully sarcastic headline to it. Trolls drive Anita Sarkeesian out of her house to prove misogyny does not exist. So for those of you who don't know, Anita Sarkeesian is an academic and researcher who has produced a largely well-received series on misogyny in games. They are easily accessible on YouTube, and also can be found through the website for Video Game Law quite easily. Her core message is to illustrate and bring forward the kinds of misogyny that exists in games, and ask some serious questions about their appropriateness. The fifth story is a report that adult women gamers now double the number of under 18 boys who game. So obviously there is no forgiveness, nor should there be, for the heinous events that drove Anita Sarkeesian out of her home. Obviously, hopefully, the police and the Crown Council are investigating and making decisions as to whether it would be appropriate to place charges. But the larger issue of misogyny in games and sort of abuse that's occurred here at least has some partial answer in the changing demographics of gamers themselves. And some may bemoan that games will no longer be as hardcore, and that may or may not be fair, because really what we're seeing is a large, significant expansion of the video game industry to encompass women and not as technological men as well, all aided and abetted by mobile devices and more casual games. We know enough about industry to know that following the money will also beget some cultural changes. And I think we're already seeing evidence of some of those in the industry, which is very, very hopeful. So the ultimate answer will be changing demographics. In the short term, that doesn't help Anita Sarkeesian one bit, and it all actually tends to prove her thesis. So thank you very much for joining this inaugural video news of the week, and hope to see you next week.